Guys, it's your man, Donovan Sharp. Take a second. There we go. I guess somebody needs to turn down their. Guys, it's your man, Donovan Sharp. everybody is approaching.
Me.
Wait a minute. Somebody needs to turn down their. There it is again. It's like echoing the echo. So anybody, wait, we're gonna find out who the culprit is. Hang on a second. Somebody needs to turn down their. It's not Allie. Hold on.
It was me.
Oh, it's Tallulah. Tallulah was the villain.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. That is quite all right.
I won't do that again.
I thought it was hysterical because it was suspenseful beeping. Like we were really on a little murder mystery situation.
It's like a real-time whodunit, right? Okay, that was funny. Quantum Conclave says depth charge attack. Yeah, it did kind of sound like we were underwater. At any rate, guys, welcome to the second edition of Not All Women. As you guys can see, we still have some kinks to work out in terms of the production. But we are all here and ready to roll. Quick announcement before I introduce today's esteemed panel. The flagship show, The Six, will be returning next Sunday at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast time, Pacific time, which is 10 p.m. England time, UK time. So next week, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the panel, other than myself, will of course be Minister Jap, Kevin Sabo, Everett Overton, Hotep Jesus, and the incomparable Rollo Tomasi, the Godfather himself, will be joining the Six on season 6. Very, very much looking forward to that. Might even have MLD on as a guest. I'm working on getting Alpha Male Strategies in here to make a guest appearance. But season 6 of the Six starts next week at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very, very, very much looking forward to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce today's panel. First up, the culprit of the secret depth charge. It is Tallulah Johnson of the Feminine Truth out in the UK. How you doing this morning, Tallulah, or this afternoon?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing real good. So what was your experience like last week? We'll just go around the panel when we introduce. How do you think last week's show went? I thought it went quite well. What about you?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed having females to speak about this with, and yeah, it was just something different. I liked it.
It's amazing, isn't it? Who knew? Normally you get canceled. On the same side of the pond, it is Pearl Davis. Now, Pearl, did you have a game today or no?
No, our game got canceled this weekend.
Oh, shit. Why?
Their floor, I guess, wasn't ready. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
First world problems.
Yeah.
We already got people shooting their shot here. Michael K19C fam says Miss Tallulah is lovely. Your response to that, Miss Tallulah? He says that you are lovely.
Thanks. Thank you.
She's so very shy. I love it. She's like, okay, thanks, I think. Next up is the assassin of the panel. It is Allie V of the Real Femme Sapien. How you doing today, Allie?
I am doing good. 25 grams of protein to the dome with my protein coffee this morning already.
Wow. Holy moly, dude. That's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we have everyone list their macro nutrients. Next up out on the West Coast is Janelle Gordon with I like the lipstick. Looking good there, Janelle. Oh, unmute yourself, please. Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
I was not trying to be guilty earlier, so I'm sure I muted myself. I'm just trying to rock my spring colors, and 20 grams right here of organic vegan protein.
Oh, look at this!
And 4 grams of sugar. It should be below, like 5 and below if you can. So
I love it, man. This is very, very good. Dr. B84 says, I'm trying to hit my protein macros today too. I like that a lot. By the way, I'm going to embarrass Janelle. Janelle had her camera covered up. She had her camera covered up. We couldn't see her. We thought there was something wrong. I said, maybe there's a cover on your camera. And there was.
And there was. Thank God for Shivas. We need them.
Shout out to Janelle. Last but certainly not least, it is the lovely and talented Devin. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. I had a lot of fun last week. It was really awesome not to have to just be 50% of the show when I do the show with you. So it's just really nice to hear from other women.
Yeah.
I don't get that interaction very much. So.
Absolutely.
Devin looks stunning this morning. Can I just say she looks like smoking hot.
Oh, so Janelle says you are smoking hot this morning. Dev, anything to add to that?
I was just told that I don't look as good as I did when we first started doing out the podcast.
Who told you that?
You did.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
hashtag
Thanks,
keep
Janelle.
her on
Appreciate
her
it.
toes. Keep her on her toes. Listen, Janelle, give her plenty of validation so I don't have to.
You got it.
I don't really know how to do that. So let's lead off with this question by Geeky Anomaly. And we're going to lead off with Allie here. Says, I wonder if RP women have a harder time finding each other as opposed to RP men, because women value social acceptance more than men. That seamlessly segues into today's topic. Allie, you have a very interesting story about not exactly evangelizing the RP, but dealing with women who are not RP aware. Go ahead and grace us with your thoughts.
It's so bad. So is this my opportunity to break down the story? Because it's like
This is
like a 5-minute situation. Okay, so before I get into the story, there's 3 characters involved. 1, there's the baby mama, single mother. 2, there is sort of the beta simping baby daddy of one of these children, and then 3, there is an alpha chad. Right. So there's these three people involved in the story. And before I go in and drop some truth bombs and critique some of this woman's behavior, just I want the record to reflect that I have manipulated men in my past time. And so if you are still psychologically damaged from that, feel free to find me on Instagram. I am ready to apologize. Right. Well, you can't just like go around smoking people and then not have accountability. So that's how we're going to jump into this. So I had a moment with this friend who I thought she was on the up and up. She came to me basically asking for my insights because she wanted to be an asset to a high value man. And as a woman who believes that her role in the world is of service, I think that I attract a lot of people who need help. I'm not very good at vetting my female friends still. I'm still a little bit young and naive and think that people are well-intentioned, but I'm learning. So the longer that I got to know her, the more that I realized the audio wasn't matching the video. She would tell me that she wanted to do... Right. Yeah, she told me she wanted to improve her life and that she was ready to take action steps, but then her behavior would do this other thing. So this high-value man, she's telling me that she wants to be committed in a relationship with him and have it be serious. And he's offered to her to have her children move in and have herself move in and become a housewife. Right.
Wow.
But so then New Year's Eve comes around and what do you know? She fumbles the play. She goes out and does things that do not indicate that she is ready for a serious committed relationship.
Wait, hold on real quick. Wait. Hold on. You said she goes out and does things that indicates that she's not ready for a committed relationship. Did she go out and get fucked? Is that what that was?
Oh, I'll never know. See, half the problem with this broad is that she's a solid 9. And it's only because of her face leaves something to be desired. But she is genetically gifted, gorgeous, amazing. Yeah. I mean, I find her attractive.
Let me interrupt you. She got piped down on New Year's Eve. Like, let's just keep it a stack. That's exactly what happened. Listen, a woman who goes out and puts herself out there, guess what? When you advertise, a funny thing happens. You get customers. Yep. So let's just assume she got
customers.
We can make that assumption. Whatever the assumptions were made, whatever actions were done, the guy ends up breaking up with her. The alpha chad ends up breaking up with her. And this all would have been fine had it not altered sort of the situation that was going on with her baby daddy. So this beta simping baby daddy already moved to live by her and his child. Already moved. He followed her, right? And so when I was reflecting on that dynamic with her, I said, you have to, right? I told her, you have to be careful about the influence that you have on men, because some women don't understand that a guy will follow you to the ends of the earth, especially if he's beta and you're gorgeous. And that is dangerous when there are children involved. So I warned her of this. She doesn't really, and I told her about this because her alpha chat had offered him a job.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Did he take the job?
That I don't know, because this story does not necessarily have a good ending. So
wait, real quick. Does the beta know the alpha chad is fucking the baby mama?
Yes, he knows that's her new man.
Oh no!
Right?
So
devastating.
The baby mama offers him a job. Oh boy. Okay, keep going.
So, well, I told her, be mindful of that. You don't want to put the father of your child in a position where he can't be masculine for that child to see him in that light.
Right.
Whatever. It didn't end up going that way. So he was prepared because this alpha Chad was willing to relocate everyone. She was willing to uproot her entire family and her baby daddy because he was going to follow her to the new location, even though he already followed her to the current location. You see what I'm saying? So she's basically toying with him and asking for attention. And I would notice that when she was texting me, sometimes it was because she was bored and looking for attention, which I don't respond to female text messages like that. You're bored and you're hot. I know you can text 5 other dudes if you're already doing it. Let me watch TV with my man. But so, yes. So this is where it took a turn for the worse because I already thought this was a high-risk situation. Well, apparently the baby daddy was also a combat veteran, and he is what Tom has taught me is called zeroed out in this situation.
Yes.
After all of this comes to a head, and basically he opts for self-deletion.
Did he succeed?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, which is why.
Oh my God. So he deleted himself?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Okay.
No.
So ethically.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a heavy story. I'm sorry, guys.
That's
But
okay, man.
the point is, well, that was how my ethics got called into question. I don't think that I can maintain a friendship with a woman who is willing to dodge the influence that she could have had in that, because at the end of the day, it's the kid who suffers because the child doesn't have a father anymore. And so I told her I didn't want to be a friend anymore. I started pulled back for weeks. I pulled back. She wasn't getting the hint. Eventually I told her I'm pulling myself away from this friendship because I want to protect my peace. Right. And I thought this was the ultimate bait and switch. I did not see. I swear I didn't see this coming from this broad. Oh my, and I'm mad. This is why I'm naive. I need to do better. I need to predict these things.
All right.
So I started getting hit with the sign language because I told her that I think that she could have influenced it. Not that she's the reason why, but that there was a role to be played here. He was already a high-risk man, and she would know that if she cared about men, but she's so solipsistic and selfish, she can't even see that. So then this is where the sign language came in, and that's how we're on today's topic. So the sign language was that it starts with, let me pull it up. Stop leading women when you have a hatred toward them. You will be the failure. You will be the failure of your husband in your own life. So now I'm a misogynist because I hold you accountable.
Yes.
I am wrapping up here, guys. I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that women use sign language in private. So then it goes, you, ma'am, are the reason so many women hate themselves and push themselves into unhappy lives with shit men because you devalue women constantly. And she says, I really hope you never have a daughter. Your mother may have effed you up, but you'll destroy that child with your viewpoints and set her up for failure, just statistically speaking, right? I may not live my life the way that you think I should, but I have 2 very happy, very healthy, and very intelligent children that she is setting up for success. That's her story of success. We're missing a father. She's single. That's success. That's the story, guys. So y'all are tired of disrespectful women. Women are tired of disrespectful women too.
Unbelievable. So she gets mad at you. That she gets dumped. You tried to be a good influence toward her. She is feeling some type of way. Baby daddy deletes himself, but you're the misogynist.
Apparently, yes. Hold the women accountable. Your girlfriends are your friends until it's time to be held accountable.
By the way, Tom got your guy got the term zeroed out from Rollo Tomasi. Actually mentions this in his very first book, The Rational Male. So it's good that your guy is quoting the rational male. Okay, let's go around the panel here. Janelle, what are your first thoughts on this particular situation? Holy God.
I was just trying to do some Reiki and shift the energy because that was just really intense. Okay. I mean, just obviously it's life, but like I'm a vet myself, so my heart goes out to any veterans that have mental health issues. I think this is something we do need to talk about, more of in this dynamic of mental health issues and the effect. Obviously, being a vet, you have your own set of mental health issues, but in relationship in the dynamic of women's manipulation over men, how this really does wreak havoc on mental health for these individuals. And I think this is something we really have to take serious. And I'm so happy that there's platforms that are bringing more awareness to this topic. But in general, single moms are delusional, and I'm one myself. So let me just be honest
Okay.
in saying that, like, you know, these women that are like, listen, single moms, I can do it all, and it's the best thing in the world, and I don't need a man. All this stuff, it's absolutely bullshit. You know, it's not true. I'm a single mom who runs an international business, six-figure plus business. I travel all the time. I deal with people and their hangups around sex. So whether that be sexual trauma, sexual deviance, sexual inorgasm, everything you can think of, I deal with major stuff. And I run a nonprofit that works with victims of human trafficking. And
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's my own. It's called Beyond Freedom International. It's a
okay, all right.
Yeah, I founded it 2 years ago with the help of Tony Robbins at Business Mastery in Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, we raised $50,000 in 3 days for this cause. It's very dear to my heart.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, I do a lot of stuff, and let me just tell you, when women say, "Oh, we don't need a man, and there doesn't need to be a man in the house," I got it. It's absolutely not true. It's just not true. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, and I don't recommend it for any woman. You should have a man in the house, and you should do whatever you can to make sure that there's a man in the house, as long as he's not abusive or harming your child in any way, right? And this is why I think we talked, I don't remember which show this was. I'm on here so much with you guys, it's confusing now.
Yeah, they all run together.
I'm like, I don't know, but we talked about, or maybe I was talking with Tallulah, I don't remember. But the links that I go to make sure that my son is around his father.
Good.
Like by crossing the pond, going to UK every year to make sure he's there. And then just because it doesn't matter what I feel about him, it's that my son needs a male presence in his life. And I make sure that he has plenty of positive Black strong men in his life here, including his coaches and my guy, etc. So this dynamic of women manipulating men to sort of meet their bullshit attention needs, they don't really care about their children. Let's just be honest.
Oh, they don't. I agree.
They don't, they don't, because if you cared about your children, you would not be out in the clubs, backing it up, offering, community service for the entire, NBA team or whatever, whatever it is that you're doing. And the thing is, this is notorious. Single moms are like, oh, I'm going to go out and fight. It's just like, get dressed, be presentable, take care of your kids, and do whatever you can to get a man in your life that can be a constant for your son. So this story was really intense for me to kind of hear, because it hits the home, being a vet myself.
Yeah.
But this woman is delusional, and she really needs to look and see, I don't know, she needs to get under the mentorship of someone like myself, or someone that can guide her, because she clearly can't do it on her own.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
A couple of quick things here before we go to Tallulah. Sith Lord Entertainment, $20 super chat, says the Avengers have assembled. Hope all is well with you all. Looking forward to this. Appreciate that very, very much. Another Mr. J with the $5 super chat says the 6 is equivalent to Avengers, Justice League, Sinister Six, and finally Infinity Stones. When you said 6, many thought of Avengers. Absolutely. Real quick before I go to Tallulah, Allie, how old is this woman?
She's my age. She should be my age.
She is 20.
But that's why I thought, okay, I'm going to take a risk. I might get the indirect aggression that women do. She might act out, because typically when I try to hold my female friends accountable, it's not for myself. There are children involved. Wake up. Yes. So I took the risk of being probably the only person in her life who's ever going to tell her what's up, and that she might have played a role in that. Obviously, he made the choice himself. I don't want to neglect that. But that's why I shot my shot, and I walked away with many, many wounds. Many wounds.
Okay. All right. Tallulah, what are your thoughts on this particular situation?
Yeah, I mean, Ali, I'm so sorry you've had to like endure and go through this. It's like not only upsetting, but it's really, really frustrating. And I do think that, men's mental health, the difficulty is that I mean, for me, I volunteer as a psychotherapist. That's what I do. It's more in the bereavement side of things. But I've seen women and I've seen men, and I think, men, I prefer to see women, because men need men. And I think it's really important that they they go out there and they have mentors. All men should have a mentor and someone there to guide them, whether it's a father or someone else, and not look up to women to give them any kind of answers or guidance, because we just can't give it to them. But going back to that is, you can't ram this stuff down anyone's throat. Like this poor guy, like, I really, really feel for him, because, if he just made other changes, things would be different, so different for his life, the children's life. But there may have been people, there may be people like around this guy that's, trying to tell him, trying to guide him, and he's not willing to listen. And that's like probably the most frustrating thing. And I can hear Ali's frustration, right? Because, her friend has, this is what happens though, is your friend will come to you because they know, that you do have some kind of answer, but it's just so, I think, triggering for them and upsetting for them to kind of work towards that acceptance. I mean, they always talk about in the sort of male space of this, I think it's like red pill rage or something.
Yes, red pill rage. Yep.
Yeah, I suppose you could put that the same as women. I mean, all you guys know my story. I got this stuff when I was 17, so I was quite lucky. But still, of course I get triggered. I'm a lady in my late 30s. I get triggered, but I'm willing to give that advice to people that want to listen. And I'm not willing to do it to people that just want to come and, not listen. It's just a complete waste of like my time. And, it's just, I don't know, everyone's story is different, but I know what you mean, Ali. I can feel your frustration from the UK here, right? And it's just, it's frustrating and upsetting. And when you're actually speaking to a female one-on-one, I mean, I obviously don't do this, when I've been giving women therapy, but it's you see, they come to you, you tell them, and there's just blank while it all like washes over them, and it's blank, and they're like, and you think, oh my gosh, brace yourself, what they're going to say. And they either completely accept it and take it in, or they don't. And we have to remember as well that, it's not our job, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to hear this, Hallie. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry that I thought you were.
No, go ahead.
Go as long as you want, because this is serious stuff. Pearl, what are your thoughts on Ali's friend's situation? Because Tallulah there just made a lot of good points. The first point, and this is what we talk about in the red pill men's spaces all the time, you cannot evangelize the red pill. It never, ever goes well. The only time the red pill sinks in is when you seek it out, not when your friend says, hey, do you have time to talk a little bit about the red pill? What are your thoughts on
that? Well, I think that was the girl in this story sounds very selfish. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you have kids, it's not about you. It's about your kids and what's best for the kids.
That last week. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's like, so that's selfish. If you wanted it to be about you, think about that before you get pregnant. There's like 100 forms of birth control. I don't understand how all these girls like and respectfully, it's just like take accountability for your actions. You know what I mean? And the second part is, I don't really have a lot of red pill friends. I wish I did, but they're like tough to find, especially in women.
Really, that's interesting, Pearl, because men, we think all the time it's very hard to find like-minded men. So let me go to Dev with this. Dev, what do you think it's harder to do? You're not a man, but you've always told me, even when we first met, it's hard for women to find friends with each other.
It is hard for women to connect, especially the older that you get.
Speaking with the penis.
Okay. I hate it when you say that.
You're good. You're fine. I can hear you. You don't have to bend over. It's fine.
Okay. What were you saying?
Talking about making friends as a woman. It's very, very difficult.
It is usually a similar interest or some type of phase in life is what has to be in common for women to come together and become friends, whether it's work or, having children, or your spouses are friends or something of that nature. And then to find like-minded women is even more difficult. because you can't just come out and say a lot of this stuff. I have some comments about Allie's story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One thing, and she sent me this text exchange, and I gotta say, like, women claim victimhood as a badge of pride. And not only is this woman a single mother, but now she's a widow, or the father of her child has passed away. So now she's like, she's extra special because, you know, she has that. And the second like that isn't worshipped, where Allie called her and said, hey, called her on it and said, hey, you know, a lot of this is you got to be accountable for some of this regarding the situation that you're in. Her fangs came out, like she got really nasty.
Yep.
And so women, one thing I've learned, and this is true in Allie's story as well, is that women will talk the talk long before they'll walk the walk. They'll read about traditional roles, and they'll read about, you know, red pill women things, and they'll adopt it, they'll repeat it. But a lot of times they won't live it, or they'll react very badly when they're called into question, saying, "Hey, that's not very red pill of you to try and do," so to speak. Using red pill as just a generic term for being a feminine woman. So, you know, so they'll start talking the talk, and they'll start out by saying, they're basically going to manifest this. I'm going to become a more feminine red pill woman because I want to. And now I'm going to look into astrology, and I'm going to look into, and I'm going to use karma and things like that to try to say this is how it's going to become, rather than like leveling with themselves and saying, okay, like,
I'm a basic bitch.
The things that I need to change come from within, not from outside. Outside forces are not going to influence my behavior on a day-to-day basis so much as changing my mindset and things like that will. And just internalizing new ways of thinking, which is very difficult for women to do unless they have an example to follow. And that's usually coming from the man. That's why women tend to, you know, adopt whatever the strongest man in her life will adopt, because it's easier to follow his example than to create your own example and follow your own example and hold yourself accountable. And so these women, they know the outcome that they want, but they either won't or can't do what they need to do to achieve it. And so they'll expect overnight results without doing the work. And then they begin to resent those that are doing the work and are holding themselves and their friends accountable. And then the next thing you know, like, they'll try to convince other people that you're wrong and she's right because, you know, because you held her accountable. All of a sudden, she's the bad guy now. And now she's got to try to make herself look better by making you look bad. Oh my gosh, she's abused, she's oppressed, she's doesn't have a say in her life, things of that nature. And so they basically try to muddy the waters just in order to try to get any dirt off of themselves, so to speak. So
I got you.
Yeah. So so needless to say, trying to find, you'll never go and find a red pill woman by saying I'm a red pill woman.
Yes.
You tend to find just by doing the things that you like to do and being around people that you like to be around, and seeing in other people. You're never going to find a red pill woman if you're hanging around single girls who go out and party and club all the time. You know, so, but if you're in a relationship, you're, you know, meeting people in a couple setting, odds are you're going to find people that who are more established in their relationships. They tend to be more agreeable when it comes to things that help keep them in those relationships.
Okay. Wow. Very good. Very well said, Dev. Blair Don DeMarco. So Rollo Tomasi is here in the chat. He has a prediction. He says CPS will remove Brittany Renner's kid before she's 35. Now, Brittany Renner, I think, is about a month from turning 30 years old. So let's go around the panel, Janelle. Agree or disagree with Rollo's prediction, and why?
I 1000% agree, because I just the clips that we unpacked last week. You know, she is, and I am not a psychologist at all. So I'm just speaking from a point of view as a coach of someone that does study patterns, behaviors, and thought processes. She definitely has some major psychological issues that are happening. I don't know. Again, it looks like borderline personality to me, but who knows? So with that kind of instability in like how she presents herself on camera and the things she's saying, that's not good for a child, which means that she's very like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like,
I think she's not self-aware, selfish.
And I feel like she's unstable. I don't
yes, there we go. Yes.
I'm not trying to like hate on her, but I just feel like she's unstable. And as a parent, I mean, I have a almost 7-year-old. He'll be 7 in April, and he's already told me he wants a trip and a birthday party. I'm like, pick one, dude.
Oh shit! Whoa! Hey, ho, hey!
Because he's been to 11 countries already, so he's like, I want 12 and I want a party. I'm like, no, you're picking one.
Yeah,
but
one or the other.
As a parent, stability is one of the most important things. Yeah, someone of a sociopath, definitely. I believe that as well. So I don't feel her stability there's no stability there. So for a mom, and a single mom at that, if you don't have stability, you can't raise a kid. Like, you just can't.
No way.
You have to have your shit together, your ducks in a row, and you have to be calm even when the chaos of single parenthood is going on around you. Now, fortunately for her, she will have money, but instability with a lot of money, it's also not a good recipe for, it's a recipe for disaster. Yes. But I wanted to add something real quick to what Devin said about the manifestation stuff, because I'm you guys can call me the woo-woo chick on the panel, and that's fine. And I do, I'm okay with that. And here's the thing. Alcoholism isn't a good look either.
No, it's not.
The manifestation, like that whole cliche thing, and it pisses me off because I really do these practices. Like, your thoughts do create your things, but God helps those who help themselves. And you create your own reality by what you do, not by just sitting there chanting, oh, life is good, life is good.
Manifest.
Yeah, like, so people have fucked up that term, and it pisses me off from someone who does practice sexual acts of magic to create what I want, but I fucking do something with it. Now, when people are saying, oh, I'm going to manifest a partner, they're literally sitting there using this as a cop-out to say, like, I don't have to do shit. I don't have to change my way. I can do whatever I want and manifest. No, that doesn't work. You have to, because I did this. I said exactly what I wanted in a partner. I wrote it down. I did the mantras. I did everything. But at the same time, I was working on myself to be able to attract that kind of person into my life, because energy is attracted to like energy. That's science. That's metaphysics. Anyone out there can tell you that. So when you're talking about this from an actual metaphysics standpoint, it does make sense. If your energy is higher, if you have a good attitude, you guys talk about this all the time, being cooperative, having a good attitude, you're adding service, you're adding value to someone's life. You're, by law of attraction, law of energy, you're going to attract a similar resonance, someone on that vibrational field. But that doesn't mean that you're going to sit around, go to the club, and just wow out like you're 18 or 21. And a perfect example of this was last night. My neighbors, they all live in this area. They're all affluent. They're all single. And it was her birthday party. And she's a neighbor friend, right? I know this group. And they were all going to the club. And I didn't want to go, Donovan. I did not want to go.
Didn't want to go. See?
I didn't want to go. Why did I not want to go? I have a 7-year-old. I'd rather stay at home and be with him. And I have a man. Like, I don't want to be, and I don't drink. So why would I want to go? So all of this, I was like, I even had a sitter, and here, talk about single mom problems. You got to get sitters and stuff, right? I had a friend that was going to keep him. It was going to be a play date, because I always try to do play dates over sitters, so he's engaged with other kids, right?
Okay, right.
I had everything set up. And then 2 hours before, I was like, I'm fucking bailing. I couldn't do it. I sent her a text. I said, I have a gift for you. I would love to bring it over. I just can't. I can't make it. I'm not feeling well. I need to be here with my son. And that is what a high value woman does.
Okay, very good. Tallulah, what do you think? Because we're going to go to Tallulah, then Allie. So will CPS remove Brittany Renner's kid? And he's a cute freaking kid, by the way. Oh my God, he's the cutest kid I've ever seen. Before the age of 35. Do you agree or disagree?
I've actually just had to ask someone what the CPS is, because obviously I'm in England. I don't know what it is.
Yes, of course. It's Child Protective Services,
UK version of social services.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know much about her. I didn't actually know about her until I saw the interview the other day with Myron and I think his name's DJ Ack.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think Myron like said to her, you know, look, he kind of like gave her a choice. Like, you can try and continue to behave the way that you are and try and seek, you know, because she's trying to seek the next probably high value man, but she's gutted about you know, the breakup she's had. Or how about like sharing this guy and, you know, still having him in your child's life? And
Right.
she didn't get it. She didn't understand, you know, what he was trying to tell her. So I don't know. I honestly don't know much about her, but from what I'm hearing, if she's drinking, in the UK, they come down really, really hard if there's alcoholism or if there's any kind of domestics in the home.
Right.
You get, I think it's one warning, and then that's
a wrap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. We're gonna go Allie, then Pearl, and then Devin. So Allie, what do you think? Are they gonna come take her kid before 35, or will something else happen?
I honestly think so.
Okay.
And you know, always take my opinions about single mothers with a grain of salt. But at the same time, I was a young girl who grew up in a single mother home, like stereotypically, statistically, not the best situation. And now I'm an adult now, and I'm like talking to women about some consequences of their actions. But I have a big bone to pick with Brittany Renner when it comes to her child, because she weaponized a pregnancy.
Yep.
Right. And
Yes,
so what she's banking on, what a lot of women who have children for the wrong reasons are banking on, is that their kid's going to turn out to be low IQ. Ooh. What are you going to do if you birth a high IQ child who starts looking at your actions and is wondering, Mom, why are you making these decisions? I don't think I like those things. And these are conversations that do happen if you're an intelligent child. You can see when the audio is not matching the video. The other thing is too, is I think some women, younger women, I would say, well, maybe older women too, y'all would know more about that. They're having children for their own personal identity and affirmation. Right. There's nothing of substance or depth to themselves. So let me have a child so that I can feel special, because they're going to love me permanently. And it's like, Jesus. Your kid is going to love you a lot unconditionally for a time, but they will grow up one day, and they might notice that you're solipsistic, selfish, narcissistic. And guess what? You might be in the nursing home, sis. So be smart.
Wow. Dude, all kinds of knowledge being dropped. I'm gonna have to ban Rolo here pretty soon, because he's making me laugh.
Buddha. You gotta rub.
There it is. He's got the Buddha right there. Rolo's making it very tough for me to
what's a Buddha?
To moderate the panel. You don't know what a Buddha is? You know, the little Buddha statue.
You know what Buddha?
Oh, wow.
I thought like it was the name of his dog.
Put your Buddha. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's a pretty one.
You gotta rub and to the right 7 times, to the left 7 times. And then you just got to put. No, I'm just like.
Okay. I listen. I was watching. I was like, wait a minute. Let me try to manifest some things here.
Wow. I have a Buddha statue downstairs. I was going to try it.
I thought you got a
No, I can tell you some real stuff, Devin. Though that was me just messing around.
Oh man, I was about to go back and watch the rest of this damn thing.
I thought Buddha was a dog, because he said rub his belly, so I was thinking it was an animal.
Well, all dogs. And by the way, before we get to Pearl, Walter. At this point, he's getting chopped today. He's getting neutered. Let's all say a prayer for Walter. He's gonna be a couple of nuts lighter when he gets home. Pearl, your opinion. Do you think CPS has taken Brittany Renner's kid, or will she figure it out?
I don't think Brittany Renner's ever going to be like a picture perfect parent, or really a good one. It's very apparent in her actions. I think I just saw Rolo make a comment that it's like the kid's like an accessory. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense, because like if you really cared about your kid, you wouldn't make it about you. It's about the kid, but she's making it about her.
Yes.
But I do have a lot of experience with, like, we adopted 3 of my siblings, and they're in a pretty bad situation. It's really hard to get a kid away from the mom. It's very difficult. Like because some of those situations we had to come in and like get lawyers, and my parents are like pretty well off and were able to get good lawyers, and it was very hard. So she would have to do a lot to get rid of the kid, to be honest.
That is true.
Wow. Yeah, I think you're right, Pearl. I think she would have to do a lot to get rid of the kid, but based on what we've seen thus far, she's doing quite enough.
She's doing the most.
She's doing,
look at I could tell you stories that would like make your like you would feel sick to your stomach, and the person that like fathered like some of the kids we adopted, like not father, like mothered the kids we adopted, still got the kid. Jesus. And yeah, for a very long time. So that's the only reason I say that she might not get rid of the kid by 35.
Okay, very good. Deb, what do you think?
When I was in high school, I had an economics teacher who told us that we should expect to change careers at least 3 times in our adult lives.
Wow.
Understanding like when those transitions are going to be happening and predicting the future of the market is what's going to best keep us in the best position to survive through those changes. Now, he wasn't talking about just changing like a job, going from like, you know, a cook to a pastry chef. He was talking about like full on career changes, because the market is going to shift radically throughout our lifetimes. So I think that Brittany Renner is at a crossroads in her life right now. I think that her pro-ho days are behind her. Woo! Obviously, she's turning 30.
Pro-ho, baby.
And trying to maintain that is going to put her at a loss. She's facing a transition in life.
She is.
The sooner that she realizes and embraces this, I think the sooner that she'll succeed in the next phase of her life. So she's got to capitalize on her strengths and do good in order to outshine her past and still be a good mother. She's a beautiful woman. She obviously has networking connections. There are, come on, she's pretty. Nope. Okay. All right. Well, speaking hyperbolically. Anyway.
Sorry about that. My finger
Thanks,
slipped.
Babe. Appreciate that.
Slipped, yeah.
Anyway, like, will she lose her kid? I don't think so.
Nope.
As long as she has like such a good relationship with her family. From what I understand, she has like her mom as a fallback. Tends to be where she goes in between boyfriends and things like that. So as long as she has a cushion to land on, I don't think she'll ever hit rock bottom. So and she won't really change too. So it's kind of like a catch-22. I would say that as long as there's her family involved, she'll never lose her kids. They always want to place children with the family.
That's
and
very true.
Also, like, I think she's an attention addict, which to her is just as dangerous for the child as any other type of addiction. So if she's able to like merge her needs with her child's needs, if she can't even prioritize her child's needs, that would be best.
Yes.
But that's the only way that she's going to have like a good outcome. And I think she's young enough to achieve that. Unfortunately,
you don't think she will?
She's got a higher needs when it comes to prioritizing herself over her child. So that's something that's going to have to be overcome.
My opinion on this is.
Where do you know? This is Sopranos season finale right here.
Come on, Lucky Buddha, bring him back.
There we go. All right. Buddha
brought you back.
Jesus. Yes. You had to 7 times counterclockwise. All I can speak is from my own experience. Will CPS take her kids by the time she's 35? I think there's probably a better than average chance that probably happens. Will she lose her kid? I don't know. But if I were a betting man, I don't know. I'd probably. If it were 3 to 1 odds, I'd probably bet a significant amount of money. I will say this: one thing about Brittany Renner that most single moms have in common is that they are extremely selfish. And my relationship with my mother is strained even today. I love my mom, and if she needs me, maybe I'll be there for her, maybe I wouldn't. But when my mom was a single mother, when she had only us, she was extremely selfish. My folks were separated twice. The first time they were separated, I was 8 years old. My sister was 6, the twins were 3, and my youngest brother had just been born. And it was the 6 of us in this small, dinky little 1-bedroom apartment in Steilacoom, Washington, right up the street from Tacoma. We were dirt poor. Like, we were dirt fucking poor. And my mom was still out there getting ran through. Dude, all of her boyfriends, Rogelio, Carlos. I mean, dude, this dude named Willie, a guy named Reggie. I mean, it was always someone. And, you don't know what's happening at the time, but my mother acted very selfishly the first time they got separated. Dad calls it mom one spring evening and says, hey, they're stationing me in Hawaii. All of a sudden, my mom says, all right, well, let's get back together and so we can go live in Hawaii. Because, dude, we were struggling. So we moved to Hawaii. All is good. I don't know, for about 15 minutes, my mom starts running around, fucking dudes in the army and this and that. So at least two abortions later, and probably 2 number changes. Now so my dad got stationed in Oklahoma. Well, my mom took us the first time they were separated. My mom decided to leave us with our incapable father in Oklahoma while she chased this crackhead up in Detroit. That they were on and off, obviously. Well, maybe a year and a half later, mom moves to North Carolina, and we now and so mom sent for us. Well, we're all teenagers now, and we're all beginning to realize what is really happening. So one by one, she starts kicking us out of the house. Dude, my brother and sister, I have my brother and sister, they're twins. I think their sophomore year, my mother kicked them out of the house. Sophomore year in high school, kicked them out of the house, sent them to live with my father in his 1-bedroom apartment. My youngest brother didn't want to be without my middle brother, so he ended up going. So the only person living with my mom is my sister under me, and then I'm away at college. I come home from college. I'm at home. I'm living at home just for the summer. Mom figured out that I had hidden my paycheck from her, and she kicked me out. She acted very, very selfishly. My mother never, ever, ever thought of us. Years later, at this point, now I'm married, and my mom had to come and live with me and my now ex-wife. And my mom and I are sitting there talking about everything that happened. My mother had the audacity to tell me, you know what? She said, Alex, if I had it to do again, I would do the same thing over again. I said, Mom, get the fuck out of my house before I say something or do something that we're both going to regret. My brother ended up coming to get her. The point is this, man, is that Brittany Renner is a selfish human being. And that's okay. We're all inherently selfish. But she appears to be putting herself before her kid. And kids know when they're the priority and they know when they're not. And the vast majority of single mothers act selfishly, and it never ends well, especially their relationship with the kid. So while CPS might not come and take her kids, Brittany Renner's kid might choose to be emancipated before he reaches the age of majority. So that's I don't know how CPS works. I can't really make that prediction, but I do know this. Brittany Renner is showing all of the signs of being an extremely selfish single mom. Blackout Red 333 with a $50 super chat. He says Brittany Renner is a Super Saiyan feminist who strives on attention. Her chances of keeping her child would increase if she dumped her social media. I would 100% agree with that. I think I already read this. No, I have not. Says Sith Lord Entertainment says, I think that Brittany Renner thinks her child is a trophy. You hear how she talked so badly about coming off a bag off stupid athletes. From my observation, that child to her is nothing more than a paycheck to her. Sad. Wow. The Pimped Out Platypus, $5, says you're putting together something unique. Shout out to you, big bro. I appreciate that very much. Jason Moreno, $5 super chat says, watch your toes, ladies and gentlemen. Devin dropping a lot of knowledge right now. Absolutely. That was some serious knowledge that you just dropped. Let me come to Tallulah with this one. I'm sure you probably know of a lot of single mothers in the UK. Are single mothers in the UK as selfish as they are here in the States, or is it a different dynamic?
It's definitely praised here in the UK if you're a single mum. Okay. For sure. I wouldn't say that as selfish, but I can't speak for everyone. Okay. I couldn't tell you 100%, but I wouldn't say that as selfish, but it is still praised to be a single mum, and it's still looked upon as, poor her, she's a single mum, she's been left on her own, right. When often that isn't the whole of the story. But that's my piece on the single mum stuff in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about the and Rollo says Brittany is the site. Rollo actually texted this to me yesterday. I was going to post it on Instagram and give him the credit, but he beat me to it. It says Brittany is the psychotic BPD girlfriend that the Black Manosphere can't bring itself to break up with. Yep. He is right about that. Stay tuned for a hit piece on Rollo Tomasi from the quote unquote Black Manosphere. He also says that you guys manifested me back in. Okay. Red pill women. So Allie told her story about her holding her friend accountable. I'm gonna go Devin, Janelle, Tallulah, and Pearl. Then we'll come back to Allie. So Dev, one of your best friends, her name was Kim. As briefly as you can, talk about your experience with her while you were dating me. Did she like it? Did she not like it? What happened?
She told me that I no longer look like her friend anymore, and she thought I was doing too many changes for some guy that I just met.
Mm-hmm.
Those changes included getting my ears pierced for the first time, and getting my nails done at a nail salon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think that is all of that drastic. It's kind of like, hey, take 2 steps into the feminine pool, and all of a sudden she doesn't know who I am anymore. Like my behavior, who I am, how I talk, none of that changed.
No.
It was just like, oh, you don't look like my friend anymore, you know, like, oh, I went to the hair salon and got my hair colored instead of doing it out of a box, you know. I think just me taking steps to improve myself.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens with a lot of women, is like, for example, like one friend of the group, she decides she's going to lose weight. She's going to start working out.
Right.
All of a sudden, the other ones are like on the surface supportive, but really they're kind of like saying, like, kind of like wishing that she doesn't succeed.
Yeah.
Because that if there's something wrong with her, maybe there's something wrong with me too. You know, so they start to internalize the changes that other people are making. Oh my God, my friend is like, she looks so much better. Do I have to keep up with her?
Oh,
well,
wow.
maybe, yeah. So maybe there's something going on, you know, and that's like typical to say, oh, she's a hater, she's jealous, whatever.
Yeah, but Kim is in fantastic shape. Like she runs marathons, lifts weights, does spin class.
Yeah. And for a while I was trying to keep up with her. Like, oh man, I wonder if I can do this too. I wasn't like, oh, she's super fit, I can't keep up, I can't do 14 miles, you know, running with her.
Sure.
But I would go to spin class with her and try it out, you know, like I embrace that stuff. I like trying new things. But
so why did she have a problem with the changes? Because I remember you kept trying to get her and her husband to hang out with us, and she never did. And I kept trying to tell you, Deb, I was like, yo, Kim is feeling some type of way about me. You're like, nah, that's not really it. I said, all right, Dev, it's time to. And I really wish I had kept that email or that text exchange. But I finally just told you, asked her, hey, what is your problem with Alex? And I mean, she went into this long ass diatribe that included, hey, you just don't look the same as my friend. If you don't want to wear heels, you shouldn't have to. You're jabbing substances into your body. Like she really, she really characterized the protocol that I had you in, as some sort of toxic whatever. And every once in a while, you will shoot her a text message when we're traveling or our home gym.
Yeah, I'll still on the surface keep in touch with her. We'll send each other, you know, pictures of things of some like minor level accomplishments and stuff. And you know, I try to keep the door open, hoping that one day she'll be like, you know, you guys are still together. It's been 5 years. Maybe I can.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Women don't like to admit that they're. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe at some point she will come back around. Janelle, do you have a story where your mindset caused the division with you and some of your friends?
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a lot of them. You know, it's really hard. I do. It's hard because of what I do. You know, I'm a tantric sex coach. And the tantric practice is about embodying and worshiping the feminine, but at the feminine, but let me caveat this by saying the feminine should be like, you know, embracing all these things like Devin was talking about, like stepping into your femininity, and that the men see that, and because men want that, right? Men want feminine women. But at the same time, the main premise of the Tantra path is that women worship their men.
Yes.
Like one of the first things I did to try to seal the deal with my guy was like, he came over to my house early on, and I just got down on my knees and I like bowed down to him, and he was like, oh my God. He was like, because this is a practice we do at our retreats, and it's like women worshiping their men. and like seeing them as God, seeing them as Shiva. So it's known that this is my attitude that I have. And obviously this is what I teach around the world in my retreats and one-on-ones. And so a lot of women, they don't like that. And especially in my retreat settings, even my friends will question, like, Janelle, like, why are you driving all the way out to see him? Like, why, like, he can't give you time. Like, why are you like, you know, like, we tried to get you to do this stuff, but like, he's telling you to do it and you're doing it now. I'm like, yeah, because he's a worthy man. And like, I'm hearing it from him. So a lot of the women in my circle thought that I did too much and that I do too much to serve my guy. And so I definitely have had a lot of pushback from my girlfriends saying that, like, I shouldn't waste my time with him because I'm doing more than he is and he's younger than me and all this stuff. But in the end, like, this is how I see it. Like, they're like, someone says single friends keep other, you know, single. Yeah, that's so true. And a lot of these women that, you know, were giving me advice were single, which is why I don't want to go in the clubs, because it's just a bunch of single women hating on men. And so for me, it's like, I'm going to serve my man to the highest level, regardless of what people say. And if that means that I get, you know, victimized or, you know, for that, I'm going to continue to do it, because for me, it's actually my spiritual path. This is more than just like me feeling like I'm going to like worship my guy. Like, to me, putting my man, like seeing him as God, is how I connect with my higher power.
There you go.
It's a lifestyle for me. And
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And more women, I always tell them, this is my famous thing, when they're like, well, you do all that stuff, and then I'm just like, well, tell me, like, how is your relationship working for you?
Oh, yeah. How's that working out for you?
How's that working for you? And they can't say anything because they either A, don't have one, or their men don't sleep with them, don't desire them, or whatever the case may be.
I will say this before we go to Tallulah and then Pearl. When women question, why are you doing so much for him? Why are you doing, you're doing too much? What they fail to realize is that in return, you guys are getting taken care of. Dev does a lot for me. And in return, I provide her with the life that I am providing her.
Correct.
Women who ask, well, why are you doing too much? They fail to realize the other side of the equation. If your guy wasn't worthy of respect and worship, guess what?
I wouldn't do it.
Right, exactly.
When he came to see me, I'm getting 24 roses, and he's like, I didn't know which one. And this guy's 6'8". It's not like he can't get chicks, you know.
Feel me?
He's like, I didn't know which color to get you, so I got you both. This is what I'm like, and he's 25, and so when women are saying this stuff to me, I'm like, yeah, but you don't see like what he does for me, like, you know, like it's a reciprocal thing, you know.
Well, here's the thing, and Myron talks about this all the time, and we'll go to Tallulah and then Pearl, is that women don't see it as a value exchange. When men and women enter into a relationship, there is an understanding, a nonverbal understanding. I'm going to give you my sexual loyalty for your financial loyalty. In other words, you're not going to go off and fuck other people, and I'm not going to go off and spend money on other people or have other families. But women don't see this as a value exchange. They see it as a value loaded exchange. Women these days overvalue their box that they've given to, I don't know how many other. So let me get this straight. I'm supposed to give you my exclusive access to my finances, which I've only done now with one or two other women. But it's supposed to be a value loaded exchange when you've banged, 687 people. No, not going to happen. That's what and when you ask them, hey, how's that working out for you? At that point, you've got them checkmated. Tallulah, what are your relationships with your girlfriends like? Have you ever had a lot of female friends? And if you have, is it always a negative reaction when you talk about your traditionalism?
I'm actually really, really lucky. I have 7 really, really close girlfriends, and there was 8 altogether, but one of them, we unfortunately have parted ways because of this. All my girlfriends have seen my content on my YouTube, and a lot of them are actually listening in now, I think.
There you go.
I'm really lucky that I do have the support from them. But with regards to my relationship, I just put it in the chat now that I fall into my partner's frame, not into my friend's frame. And you know, he's the authority in my relationship, not my friends. And my friends understand that completely. And they, you know, they'll always like, you know, for example, that yesterday, a friend said to me, "Oh, are you going to come around for tea today? Love to see you. Let me know." And when I respond with something like, "Yeah, that would be great. As long as my partner doesn't leave me around today, then I'll see you later, but I'll let you know." Now, I understand that most female friends would probably get a bit funny with that, but she was like, "Okay, no problem." She totally understands. And I think a lot of like my friends here as well, that in the area that I'm living in at the moment, like a lot of these women like have to constantly sort of keep on top anyway. So they all understand there isn't too much denial with that. And you know, my friends, like if I had friends that were telling me to like go to a club or whatever, and if I went, like my partner could leave. Like if I started behaving in that way, he would be gone. And that isn't abuse, that's just respect. And it's respect not only for him but for myself. You know, it's I'm too old to be in a club, right? So it's, you know, the fact is that, you know, I have been really lucky. There's only one friend that, you know, we have called it off a little bit, but the majority of them understand that, you know, I'm operating in this man's frame. I want to, I'm happy, and my friends are happy for me. So that's that. And they've seen the content on my YouTube, which isn't exactly, you know, always the nicest to hear. But, you know, they say, "Oh, I didn't realize that. That really helped me." And they're really open to change, which is really, I'm really lucky, but I know it's rare. So thanks, girls, if you're listening.
Good stuff. Yeah, you are one of the very lucky few women who have this mindset that have quite a few friends. It is very, very rare for women who think like this to have like-minded friends. So my God, consider yourself lucky. Pearl, you probably had the greatest childhood of us all. What's your current friend group like? Are they red-pilled? Are they not? Or is there pushback? What's it like?
Well, my parents are my best friends, to be honest.
There you go. Okay.
No, it's I have a friend group back home. So, and I would say they're not overly red pill. Like they just don't care about the sector of YouTube. Like one's married, she just doesn't care. Like she's happy in her relationship, and the other one, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard, like, telling these concepts to women, especially if they're not interested in this stuff. Like, we just talk about other stuff.
Unless, of course, you're talking about a $200,000 engagement.
That girl I'd only met once. She was not like that was not like a good friend of mine or anything. I'd only met her once before that. We just made like content together. Trying to think. No, but it's actually hard because I think I'm really high in the trait openness, and I'm really high in the trait like enthusiasm. So I tend to like girls that are like really high energy and fun. And typically I don't agree with, like, we don't have anything in common outside of that. Does that make sense?
Like let me ask you this. What percentage of your friends are red pill aware, and what percentage of your friends are not? Is it 50-50, 60-40, 90-10?
Oh God, none. I can't. Like, I don't. No, they're not interested in this stuff. It's like boring to them.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah.
So ladies, if you're watching, DM these ladies. DM these ladies.
I could use a pal.
Yeah, really. Because it's lonely out here in these red pill streets. For real. King of Life with the $10 super chat says Brittany Renner wants to stay in the spotlight. That's why she wanted to meet Fresh and Fit in a neutral area. She just wants to stay in the spotlight. I can't. Well, Myron and I, we had a conversation about that. I'm not going to reveal the content of that conversation. Myron's doing very well, by the way. Stephen Ortiz says, Donovan, you gave a speech a few years ago warning men what you are prepared to lose when you go this RP path. I myself forgot that women can also be effective if they choose to place their man first. God forbid you place a man first. Your friends go absolutely mental. I'll go back to the quantum conclaves question because I think that's a good question. Just some old guy, $5 says, loved. How's that working? How's that working for you? Mic drop, absolutely. Shane will win, $10 says, the truth will set you free. For red pill individuals, that can be friends, family, and those who want to stay stuck in the matrix. And of course, Allie says, okay, so Allie is now accepting applications for friendship.
Me
So
too.
go,
Me too.
yes. Listen, seriously, DM these ladies, go comment on their YouTube channels, because I think that, and hopefully I can get all of you to the CME, because I think we're going to do something for the ladies there as well. That'll be down in beautiful Miami. Quantum Conclave with the $55 super chat says, question for the panel, why are the principles you are describing of putting your man first so foreign to women and receive such venomousness, contempt from women? Deb, I'm going to start with you. Why is that?
Women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and they can do no wrong, and it should be her way or the highway, and happy wife, happy life. And women internalize a lot of this stuff, and they feel like their happiness is the most important part of a relationship. I had a boss back when, quite a long time ago, and he used to say that the best business deal was when everybody walks away a little bit unhappy.
Yes. Yeah.
And with the relationships, there's going to be a give and take. If it's all take, you're going to end up with a pretty empty bedroom at the end of it, so to speak.
I would say so.
So putting men first, it's just basically showing selflessness and showing respect and showing qualities that honestly haven't been rewarded for a lot of these women. Usually, like, especially in the school settings and stuff, the more outspoken they are, the more attention that they get. The more attention they get, the more well known, and then they're popular. People know that, then they like them, and they equate popularity with likability, which isn't always true. So I think that the principles are foreign to women because they don't know that there is actually a payoff to putting their men first.
Yes.
And understanding that payoff is the intangible. No.
Oh, all right.
The payoff is the intangibles that result in long-term happiness and long-term relationships and the success of the family.
Good. Yeah, if more women knew and understood what the payoff for submission is, because again, femininity and submission, that is more powerful than any force on the earth. Unfortunately, women don't want to wield that power. The only time they wield that power is when they're trying to get the dick. And unfortunately, that's not really working out for them. Janelle, I'm going to read the question again. Why are the principles you are describing of putting your man first so foreign to women receive such venomousness and contempt from women? Go.
I love the word venomous.
Yes. I don't even know if that's a
great word. I love it. Thanks, Quantum. This is super simple. It's like this with anything really in life. It's always about control. And unfortunately, women have become addicted to control. They like to feel that they have some kind of control over their relationship. And the problem is that by being submissive, you're relinquishing control. And so it's a scary thing, because we have the feminist culture, we have the pop culture with all the songs and like women power and you can do it and you don't need them. We have all this stuff that's inundated. It's in the collective subconscious, which means we don't even the sweeter the juice.
Sorry. My hand flipped.
I was like, okay, it's in the collective subconscious, this thinking. So it's just ingrained even in little girls, so it starts off by women feeling like they have to go out there and make it in the workplace, and they have to control their destiny. They have to control their money. They have to control birth control, all that. It's just control. And then they're like, okay, well, I've got control of my life. I have a good career. I have, my body's like, I've got, good body. I've controlled this. I've controlled conception, but then they can't control a man. You can't get a man from control, because as we talked about the laws of polarity, let there be one leader.
Oh, wow.
And in this life, maybe in another life, but in this life, the leader is the man. And women cannot come to grips with that concept, because doing that destroys everything that they were taught in school. Like Devin was saying about, if you're louder, if you're more successful, if you're smarter, you get more attention, you get more energy, therefore meaning more control. So the minute that women are faced with, even what I teach in my workshops with orgasms, it's like, you want to have an orgasm, but you want to control it. Good luck.
Yes. Oh,
Good
wow.
luck with that. So the minute women can give up control in their body, first of all, to their man, and let him take the lead, they'll start it. What happens in the bedroom mirrors what's happening outside of the bedroom.
Yes.
If women aren't orgasming in bed, it's because they're having too much control outside of the bedroom.
Ooh.
That's
Or
how it goes.
or maybe their boyfriend has a 2-inch dick. I may or may not.
It could be that as well. I don't have that problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I call my Johnson the 2-inch destroyer. Allie, why are the principles of putting your man first so foreign to women and receive such venomousness contempt from women?
Well, I think they're jealous. I think women are inherently jealous creatures. I know that's such an easy cop-out. That's usually what comes out of a feminist's mouth, right? But I think that they're envious of the bounty that you get in return. Like you were saying, that femininity gives you a lot of rewards. Femininity doesn't just get me stuff in my relationship with my partner. Femininity gets me stuff with male mentorship. Like, hello, Donovan. Hi, you're probably working with me because I'm a nice human being. It's like it opens doors for you.
Maybe.
Right. And then the more feminine I am, I'm getting access to feminine women who can keep me on my path. I think when women see that you are getting such a high return for what they think is minimal effort, but it's really not minimal effort. They probably look at that transaction as being unfair, but for every woman has their own feminine journey story. For me, it took work, years of therapy, a lot of cognitive dissonance, and the red pill to make me a more feminine person. So when I look at what I'm getting in return, I don't want to take it for granted, but I don't think that I got it for nothing. I think that I put a lot of energy into this. And I think also women are confused that you can get things with soft power, and that usually gives you a higher return too than hard power. Like Janelle was talking about having that control and wanting to control a man. And it's like, if you let your hands up, oh no, look at that. You get to be a stay-at-home wife and mother. How'd that happen?
Real quick before we go to Pearl, then Tallulah, Devin, how hard do you work for your life?
Harder than I've ever worked at anything ever, to be honest.
You're goddamn right.
Seriously. No, seriously, because there are no days off. And I'm not saying that it's like work.
Sure.
But it was the change of how I thought about the world, how I thought about relationships, and how I learned that letting go and trusting is so much more powerful and so much better. That makes me a better person, because then I can focus on the things that I'm actually really good at. You know, there are a lot of things in this life that I'm not good at. That
laundry.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of
laundry.
Of other things, you know, like the stuff that I had to do that stressed me out, and,
of course,
didn't like to do, because I really had no business doing it in the first place. Let's just be honest.
That's right.
So I'm really happier now, even though I'm always working. At least I know what's expected of me, and I know what's not, most importantly.
That's right.
And being able to just focus on making our lives better, making my life better, makes your life better, making your life better makes my life better. It's funny how that works. So
pretty cool though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very tough journey, especially the first couple of years when I was doing, it's like feminism is so subconsciously ingrained in your behavior and your thought patterns that it's very, very hard to weed it out.
What did I tell you? What did I used to tell you when you do something inspired by feminism? What did I tell you it looked like?
Like I was picking boogers?
Like you were eating boogers.
Eating boogers.
Yes.
That's it.
I told Devin, every time you act like a feminist, I imagine you picking your nose and eating your boogers.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm not trying to kiss a bitch that eats her own
just
booger. Saying
things like what is that?
That's what she said.
That's what she, or just like acting like a frat boy or something where you think you're being cute, you know. It's not. It's just actually really ugly. So but there are other ways to be cute, and there are, better things that you can build on and, become unique to him. It's not all just submissive and quiet and stuff. So
okay, good stuff. Pearl, let me bring the question back up. Why is it that women, pardon me, the principles of describing putting your man first is so foreign to women and receive such venomous contempt from women.
Well, I think when you do what you're supposed to do, it shows other women like what they're not doing, and it kind of makes them look bad. You know, it's kind of like if a girl's in super good shape and she said, "Yeah, I got in great shape for my man," and then this girl's like 50 pounds overweight. It's kind of awkward. Like,
yeah, right.
Like you don't even have to say it. Like, you know, it's just like the unsaid thing in there.
So what you're saying is that them being feminine, submissive, and serving their man shines a light on what the other woman is not doing.
Yeah, especially if you say it like in front of the both guys. Just imagine, like, because you know the other guy is like, wow, that sounds great.
Yes.
It's just like,
goddamn,
like you're just sitting in the room. Like, this is. I have a lot of awkward situations in my life. Like I've experienced a lot of awkwardness, and like I just could imagine that would be. Yeah, that'd be up there.
That would not be good. Tallulah, especially someone like you, why are the principles of putting your man first so foreign to women and receive such venomous contempt from other women?
I think it's because they haven't met a high value guy. That's all I can think.
There it is.
Like that's got to be it, because the thing is you know, these things become natural to you. You want to do these things. You want to, you know, be in his life. Therefore, you want to. I don't know. It just happens, right? When you're really into someone or you're in love with someone, these things are natural to you. You want to put him first. You want to be in his frame. You're not interested in anything else other than, you know, being with him and making him happy. So I think that's probably why. And it's also a little bit what Pearl and I think Janelle mentioned, a little bit maybe sabotage in there. You know, we've all heard it. One of my friends, she lost loads of weight. She lost like a whole stone. A stone. I don't know if that's the same as like she lost a lot of weight. And one of her friends said in front of me and in front of her, "Oh, like you look great. Like don't lose any more weight." And in a UK size, she's a size 10, which is a really normal, healthy size. And you know, you don't need to lose any more weight. And it was just kind of like, well, if she wants to, then it's up to her. It's not up to anyone else.
Right.
So yeah, no, I definitely say they just have not. They haven't met the guy. I don't think. I don't know.
I agree with you.
They haven't. I think a lot of it is parenting as well. Like my mom and my grandma, I saw this. You know, I saw them all the time. You know, in the same place as I am, and it just comes natural because that's how my mum and my father's relationship was.
Okay. I agree with Tallulah 100%. Anytime a girl, and Jay Blaze on the Sharp Stream side says Tallulah spitting facts. Yeah, man, 100%. Anytime a woman talks about a hypothetical situation, as they do on Fresh and Fit, I would never do XYZ for a man. I would never change this for a man. All that tells me is that they have never. It's almost as though they can't believe that a man exists that would be worth doing that for, which also tells me they just don't have too much experience with high value men. Women who have a very, very negative opinion of men, there are two major factors involved. It's almost the same as men as well. Two major factors involved. One is the ingrained feminist thinking. The other is she's just dealing with ain't shit niggas all the goddamn time. Mm-hmm. That's really what it comes down to. And listen, there are ain't shit niggas out there, just like there are ain't shit dudes out there. But we as men, high value men, have the leverage. Dr. B84 says, how much is a stone in weight? Pearl, can you answer that? Because I don't know how much. Can you convert the? Listen, we in the United States and the West, we're ridiculous. We're like
we use all the different words.
It's what?
We 14. Use all the different words, including
so
14 pounds.
Okay, gotcha.
14.
Yeah, we're ass backwards here. We should use the metric system, but for whatever reason,
you know, And you know what's crazy about that statement, Donovan? When they say like men ain't shit, like they pick them. I say this to girls all the time. I'm like, like I had someone say this the other day. She's like, "Oh, men are trash." I'm like, no, the men you pick are trash.
Yeah,
I've like dealt with some really nice guys. Like to be honest, like and my brothers are great. My dad's great. So like you pick them, and like you're attractive. You can pick a lot of different guys. Why
it's
do you
funny
pick
because
them?
Allie said the same thing. They're like, "Oh, my baby daddy ain't shit," and Allie was like, "Yeah, you look dumb. You had a kid with this dude. You fucking idiot."
Yeah, I had an experience that changed how I saw positive men for the rest of my life because I was picking do nothing dudes. You know, because I think this was all in my teens. I realize those experiences aren't very important, but they kind of are. They're formative to your woman years because you learn a lot of lessons in that short amount of time because that's the first time you're introduced to your sexual power, your prowess. So I was messing around with these dusty dudes, and one man, I think I was 17 or 18. I was like, you know what? He's nice. I'm going to date a nice guy. I can do this. I know I can do this. It's going to be a good time. And I was actually attracted to him. He took me to my first ever actually real nice date. It was Texas de Brazil, International Drive in Orlando. And they were pulling out chairs for you. And I'd never had a restaurant pull out a chair for me. I'd never had a man take me out in that way, open car doors for me. And I said, you know what? These dusty dudes, it's done. It's over. I am only going to be with good men from now on. And, you know, I'm on a very good one right now, probably for the rest of my life. I hope, right, baby?
Yeah, right. And it's interesting because a lot of guys experience the same thing. Most guys deal with the types of bitches that don't say thank you when they open the door. They're not feminine. They're not submissive. And as soon as he actually runs up on one, he's like, whoa, I'm never going back. Kind of like white girls and black dudes. I'm totally kidding. Listen.
We ain't touching that one. We ain't doing it.
Yeah, listen, man. I'm a black dude. It is what it is.
We love some chocolate black women.
Yes, sir. Tell him, Shabazz. Tell him, Shabazz. Okay. Last question for the panel. And this is going to make you think. I'm going to start with Dev here. What do you feel is actually, let me rephrase that. What do you think is the best way? You don't want to evangelize the RP, but what can women do to positively influence the women around them in a positive way without evangelizing the red pill, without evangelizing conventional masculinity, femininity? Because at some point, a woman is going to think to herself, you know what, Devin's got a really good relationship with Donovan. It's unorthodox, and I don't really like the techniques that he uses, but she seems to be happy. So, Dev, what do you think is the best way to non-verbally evangelize the red pill to people that they know?
Non-verbally is just to lead by example.
Okay.
Verbally is to just give anecdotes that don't really have a point. Just say, hey, you know, this happened and I'm happy because of this result. And just kind of like leave the breadcrumbs. They're going to follow it or they're not. There's really not much you can do.
Okay. Very good. Janelle, what do you think?
I think I don't teach theory. The only thing I do is I live what I teach, and my practice is a giant version of my life. Like, you know, people always say like those who can't do teach, but I don't really believe that. I do. And I set an example for thousands of women around the world that come to my retreats or do my masterminds or even my friends by just
TheOFactors.com.
What'd you say, dear? TheOFactors.com. Yes.
Plug it.
Thank you so much. Yes, TheOFactors.com. And you know, so it's all about actually practicing what you teach. And I think it's so crucial for women to see that when they come to my retreats, they see the relationship I have with my business partner that I do these with and with my guy, and how I do worship them. And I'm leading a whole retreat and then I'm still running to get my guy food. Like there's like 30 people that paid a couple grand to see me. And I'm still like, hold on, let me get my guy breakfast. Like, let me do that. You know, let me make sure he has lunch. Well, he doesn't want to come to this session. Like, I'm still serving his needs while I'm being paid to serve a whole group of people. So I really think what Devin is saying is like, it's so true. It's like, you got to lead. And for me, it just happens to be on a platform. Everything I post on TikTok, it's all about just really people on my TikTok are just blown away. They're like, I've never seen this stuff before. I'm like, yeah, but it does work, and so just leading by example and using your platform, using your voice, because it does matter. And one last plug real quick. If you don't have a Valentine's Day gift for your partner, you should check out my retreat February 13th through the 17th in Mexico. So
what? Do you help men with shorter than average dicks? Like 2 inches, asking for
actually there are tantric practices that do that, but I would teach those one-on-one. It wouldn't be like I would teach it in a private. Let me step back.
A gentleman, Donovan here, has a 2-inch dick, so this next this is funny.
I'm saying in a private coaching, like I wouldn't teach this at a retreat, but there are methods, trust me, there's methods.
Oh my god, very, very good. Tallulah, what do you think is the best way to, we're not trying to evangelize the red pill, but how can you get the message to your friends without verbally doing so?
I think just exactly what's been said is leading by example. And sometimes people will say to you, like I've shared, like most of my friends kind of get this, so it's fine. But your person will say, oh, kind of like you, or actually, oh yeah, I saw this about like what you did. And you kind of start to pick up that, the message is there, but ultimately it's up to them whether they want to change in their lives or not. In regards to having a platform doing it, on my platform, I just say how it is. I don't beat around the bush with anything. It is just here's a short clip. This is the reality. And if you don't want to listen, that's fine. If you want to listen, great. That's it. But more than anything, it's just, I think people seeing how happy you are. And if they want happiness, then they will ask you. So.
Okay, very good. I give the same advice because a lot of guys, hey, Donovan, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, my father is about to make a terrible mistake with a woman. How can I save him? You can't. You just have to wait until they ask you questions. At that point, they're a little bit more receptive. But if you offer people unsolicited advice, no matter what, their natural instinct is to push back just because it was non-solicited. Pearl, we're going to go Pearl and then Allie. How would you evangelize the red pill non-verbally to your friends or people you know?
I think you really have to seek it out. I think personal change is like very, very difficult.
Okay.
So if you don't want to, I don't think there's anything you can say to someone that's going to change their mind. Like when I quit, sorry. When I quit drinking, that was like honestly one of the hardest changes that I ever had to make. Yeah. And I just know the amount of work I had to go into like really like just not wanting to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. And it has to like come from within. No one can tell you anything until you look for it, in my opinion. And I do think like living your best life and like showing the results is going to change people more than anything. It's like showing how it helped your life.
Very, very good. Excellent. Allie, listen, you clearly tried to evangelize the red pill that blew up in your face. So in the future, if you happen to have a friend or someone in the same situation as that 26-year-old 9 who's a hot mess, what would you do differently this time?
What I would do differently?
Yes.
I'm not sure that I meant to necessarily evangelize the red pill. I tried to come at people from a place of logic and empathy, which means like logically speaking, if you cared about humanity, you'd have to care about men. But it did blow up in my face. So for me personally, what I'm going to do is be more selective about my female friends. I'm going to very much keep it stringent at this point in time because it's going to interfere with my peace in my home. But also what the ladies were saying, just live your life in the way that you teach. When you do have an online platform, you have to make sure that your ducks are in a row, because if your message isn't consistent and there's no results, it's just, I think I wouldn't feel good about being a snake oil salesman. I have to go to bed and be able to sleep at night with what I'm telling people. And I question myself daily. Am I leading myself the right path? Because I do constantly get questions. And this panel helps with that. This panel does help to keep me in check, because you know what? Yeah, people don't like unsolicited advice. So maybe I should learn how to button up and just keep it to the results of my life. Hopefully I make it to the marriage. Hopefully I make it to the babies and things turn out good, and women can see that and understand marriage is not dead. Femininity is not dead. It can lead to positive results. So just like the rest of the panel was saying.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this is why I post receipts. I posted ass pictures of Devin. I posted text conversations of bitches I used to fuck and this and that and the third. And I do this so that my audience knows that I know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of people, men and women, in this space who say one thing and do another. And if you want any sort of credibility, especially in this space, we have a very, very intelligent audience, and they are not easily fooled. One more question, and we'll go ahead and call it. Jay Blaze with the $5 super chat says 50 years ago, women would be taken early and help each other to keep men. Now most are always in the dating market, so they sabotage each other. Yep. Yes, they absolutely do. Kevin Terrell says with the $10 super chat says hot damn. My man Donovan innovated. I'm in day 5 into this BS fight with the T virus, but I'm feeling better and woke up to see you got a good panel. Batman was here. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. Bryce Friday, $5 super chat says, started following Allie on IG. I saw a clip she put up of Sydney Watson, who comes across a faux RP. How can the panel separate who's legit from who's fake? So that'll be the second to last question. Let's start with Allie. How can you figure out who's legit and who's fake? And this is male and female red pill content creators. That's an interesting question.
Real and fake, it has to go along with the ideology, because there's a wealth of information that you can have from teachers that aren't red pilled. You just have to see if they're living by their principles. So Sydney Watson, she might be faux RP romantically, but people are getting her platform confused. Her platform is more about conservatism and society, not necessarily dating and relationship. But to see who's legit or fake, for example, I'll bring up April Mason because she's famous for this fake femininity at this point.
Sure.
Which is why I choose to be very careful how I'm leading my life. She is very good at telling you how to get a man, but she has absolutely zero information on how to keep a man. Because if you look at some of these fake femininity content creators, they don't have anything in their personal lives to support that. There's no man co-signing. So that's why it's great. You can teach me how to get him, but that's why women get lost. And that's why they end up breaking up with men that they shouldn't break up with, because they don't have the tools that they need to sort of sift through that. So I would look very closely at people's personal lives. I'm not saying be psychotic and do like a deep dive. Okay, everyone is human and they all make mistakes.
Listen, but if you're going to listen to these, you're going to position yourself as an expert. People need to know that you're walking the walk.
Yeah, make sure that the audio is matching the video. That's all you got to do.
There we go. Tallulah, in your opinion, how can you tell the difference between someone who's really red pill and someone who's kind of faking it, man or woman?
There's women. I mean, most of the red pill like female creators are on this panel, and then there's one other as well. But I wouldn't say that they're fake. So I guess I haven't come across them, but I have come across a lot of femininity coaches come up on my feed a lot. And some of the stuff that they do is really lovely, actually. It's, talking about, how you embrace your femininity, softness, kindness. And I love that. But then they'll say that. And in the next video, they'll be like, girl, you have a boundary. You have this, you have that. And it's just kind of off onto something else. So there's definitely that. And then with guys, I mean, you're probably going to know who this is, but because I'm like so new to this, I didn't know his name, but he's awful when he's the one that takes everyone's videos and then makes fun of them. Alan?
Yeah, his name. Wait a minute, Anthony Johnson.
Yes. That Anthony Johnson, and I thought this was an American saying, because on so many podcasts I hear, Anthony Johnson. I always think, they're this is some kind of saying for something in American, and then someone said it's actually a person. I looked him up. This guy is so fake. He's 100% not in a good place emotionally.
And why do you say that? Why do you say that a guy like Anthony Johnson is? How do you know? What about him screams?
Oh my God. everything. Like I can like feel it through the screen. Like he's definitely taking all sorts of substances, and perhaps he's an alcoholic as well. He's definitely struggling emotionally. There's no doubts that this guy is going to be like, I don't know, in some kind of psychiatric ward in like a couple of years. You can definitely sense he's not right. But also the stuff he writes about, like stuff he says about women, and like I saw him do this like really harsh video talking about like a couple of your friends, Donovan, in the man space, and it was just awful. It was so rude. It was so disgusting the way he was speaking about people, that people only speak like that when there's something going on for him. And then at the end of the video, and he was like, you know, everyone get ready. This is my girlfriend. Check out my girlfriend. And it's like, there was just some girl there. Yeah, she was pretty, but she was just garbage.
Right.
She had everything hanging out. She was probably someone from OnlyFans. But if I'm honest, to me, I kind of did a bit of digging into this girl, and it looks like she's kind of hired. She's hired out for a lot of these types of things. So she's not actually his girlfriend. She's hired out to do certain be like an extra and things like this.
Yes.
So, and so are the other girls that you see him in photos with as well. He's awful.
Yes. Yeah, you know, it's interesting when it's interesting to hear an outside perspective about certain things. Delil has no idea who these people are.
That was beautiful.
There you go. Exactly.
That totally made my day.
By the way, Anthony actually was married to a prostitute.
Wow.
Yes. Married to a prostitute, and he didn't know she was a prostitute, I guess, until later on. So it is what it's
Damn.
Listen, you cannot make
that was great
shit up. Let's see. Janelle, how can you tell the difference between someone who is faking the red pill and someone who actually is male or female? Oh, let me unmute you.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
My son was asking me, I'm like, okay, Mom's taking you for vegan donuts after this. We're going to get on our scooters and go. Well, I'm not going to scoot. He's going to.
Okay, all right.
I do not have a scooter, y'all. But
okay, all right.
I do have an all pink bike, you know, those beach cruisers. They're freaking
there you go.
And it has the pink basket. Oh my gosh. Dad, then if you come, we'll go for bike rides on the beach. It'll be fun.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'm new to this world, even though I'm not. Like, I'm new to the official, this whole manosphere red pill world. You know, I went on the Fresh and Fit back in October and again in December, and that's kind of what really turned me on to all this. So but what I would say as just a general rule of thumb, real recognizes real, not to be super hood, but like you can tell if energetically by someone, and it's not the words they're saying, it's actually what they're not saying. And I think that's a huge thing that you can also look for with your woman, you know, like when you're dating her and you're in the beginning stages, it's like, it's easy for this, right? The lip service, but what is she not saying? What is left unsaid? And those are the things that I think is really, it's more challenging to kind of dissect this when you're dealing with these people that are giving all this relationship advice out for free. And a lot of people are taking it, unfortunately, and some of it can be really, really detrimental. So versus just watching what they're saying, I would say watch what's unsaid. Like really tune into what it is that they're leaving out. And if they're trying so hard to like convince you of something, then oftentimes it's not a reality for them in their life, right?
Okay.
And also, if you just happen to read energy, which I do, and I can tell immediately basically if someone's real or fake. So that's just a side.
Well, not only that, you're a woman, and women are you guys are 100 times more perceptive than we are.
Yes.
Allie, how can you tell the difference between someone who is real red pill or fake red pill, man and or woman?
Man and or woman. I would say this. I'm gonna use the term because it's in the space. Shit tests. Shit tests are the way to find out. If you want to find out if someone is actually a lady or actually a gentleman, challenge them on some of their points. And
Okay.
if they can't handle that conflict like an adult, or they start talking out of their face, out of character, cursing you out, that's how you know the femininity is fake. And that's how you know that you're dealing with an effeminate male. And I choose not to socialize with either one of those kinds of people.
I love it. Yeah, shit test. Women shit test differently than men. The way I shit test a woman, one of the many ways I shit test a woman, number one, is I look at her. The second way I shit test a woman is I try to fuck her on the first date. If she lets me smash, I know she's a hoe. If she doesn't, I still know she's a hoe, but it's probably going to be a little bit tougher to crack the hoe tendencies. Okay, Devin, how can you tell the difference between someone who is really red pill and someone who is faking the funk?
I think Allie hit it pretty close on the head. I wasn't going to say shit tests. I was going to say more like
Poop test,
benchmarks, or like certain markers.
fitness test.
Fitness. There you go. Fitness test.
A fitness test.
You know, certain topics will trigger people right out of certain thinking. So, Donovan and I recently went over a Red Pill Women post where this woman was like, hey, this guy's rich. He wants to take care of me.
Oh my God.
You know, but, you know, in order for him to take care of me, you know, he wants a child with me, is, you know, and everyone's like, red flag, run, you know, and it's like, dude, this is a woman. She's 30. She doesn't have any kids. She's never been married. Here's a rich guy who wants to put a baby in her and take care of her for the rest of her life.
That's right.
What is this advice all about? You know, and so you can tell very quickly how, like, who's virtue signaling and who's actually looking out for a woman's long-term health, wealth, and, you know, overall happiness.
Good stuff. I appreciate that very much. I skipped over Pearl. Sorry about that. How can you tell the difference between someone who is genuinely red pill and someone who's faking it, man or woman?
I mean, time. I think the test of time, like, shit always comes out about people. You will see it sooner or later.
Right.
You cannot fake a 10-year career. I'm sorry, you can't.
Wow.
Like, either you're not going to have the results to show for it, or like, so like what is that one guy who had like he was doing like corn? I don't want to say it, but you know what I'm talking about?
Jack Murphy. Yeah.
I don't know how long he was in the space, but I doubt it was longer than 10 years.
Probably not.
Right. And like at the end of the day, people talk to too many people. The internet is unforgiving and has way too much evidence. Like, shit's gonna come out. Yes,
it will. Shit's gonna come out. No pun intended. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Listen, we can be immature. The very last question for the panel. Oh, HVM means high value male. So Knight Commander with the €10 super chat says, how do you look at a military male who is retired, living life, and doesn't have to worry about bills paid, works in the community, etc.? I'm not a high value man, but I'm good. How would you view a guy like this? Let's start with Pearl and work our way back. Pearl, how would you view a guy like this?
I mean, good. Like I don't know. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Listen, there's a lot we don't know. We don't know what he looks like.
I mean, I think the military is attractive. I don't know if that's just me, but like, I think as a girl, like, we like military guys because it's like a protector type of thing.
Girls dig like military guys. Devin's type.
And the uniform is nice. Let me just.
Dev, military guy. This is right up your alley. What do you think?
Answering his question, I think that he's wrong in saying that he's not high value, because I feel like any man that is living life on his own terms and is happy is high value to himself and has value to give to someone else. He's not.
Let me stop you right there. You said a man living on his own terms, right? So Dave, the unemployed garage band guitar player who may or may not live in a storage unit, he's living life on his own terms. Is he high value?
Well, he has his bill. If he has his bills paid,
but you said living life on your own terms. You didn't say anything about having your bills paid. So is that the measure? Is that the metric?
No. I mean,
I told you her type was military, guys.
Having your.
Oh, are you mad now? Listen, hey, everybody has a type. Devin likes military guys. I'm not a military guy. It is what it is. Let's see who is next. Janelle, how do you look at a military male who's retired, living life, and doesn't have to worry about bills, works in the community, but he doesn't think he's a high value man? How would you view a guy like this?
Okay, so for me personally, I'm an anomaly. I am not like, for me, I have a ton of respect for him just because he served
Of
in the
course.
military. He's retired. He's got a VA, probably he's got a house. He's doing his thing. And I think that he is high value, like Devin was saying, that he's definitely could get a high value woman and provide a nice, kind of comfortable life for her. Unfortunately, I am like sort of beyond that. Not beyond that military, meaning like I don't live a comfortable life. My life is like I'm always traveling. I'm in a lot of really nice places, and I just have a higher standard for myself,
Sure.
which would mean that I wouldn't be happy with someone that was just living kind of that more traditional type of military type of life. And again, I am not saying anything wrong about this guy. This guy's definitely high value. For me, it just wouldn't be a go. I need something a little more, keep me on my toes a little more.
Yeah. Not only that, we don't really know anything about him.
True.
You know
But just from what he does and that he's retired and he's got, his VA and all this, absolutely. He should be able to get a high value woman, no problem.
Okay, very good. Tallulah, what are your thoughts on the military guy?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's served in the military already, like, I have huge amounts of respect for him because he's gone out there and protected his country or whatever it is that he was protecting, right? And I do sometimes wonder, today, if World War III broke out in England, how many guys would actually be packing their bags going, I'm going to fight? Probably not many. So definitely 100% respect, masculine behavior. However, I will say, Knight Commander, it's great to have your question, but you've said, I'm not a high value man, but I'm good. How would you view a guy like this? Is perhaps like not ask women how they view you, because you need, as long as you're operating in your frame, which asking a question isn't quite operating in your frame, I don't think. And it's, you should just be doing you, and it doesn't really matter what we think, right? But absolutely, the fact that you've served in the military, wow, there's only a few of you, so
yeah. Before we go to Allie, the reason why military men are attractive is just like what Janelle said. They love a man in uniform. Also, someone who has served in the military, that there's a certain amount of masculinity that's involved. He knows how to use a weapon. He at least has some measure of knowledge of hand-to-hand combat. He's traveled the world. He's taken care of by Uncle Sam. I mean, listen, I remember my ex-wife, my ex-father-in-law, great guy. I remember he said to me, he's like, look, you want to know something? I think that every 18-year-old man should be required to serve in the military for at least 2 years. And I agreed with him, because a lot of the things that the military teaches, I don't know how it is now, but a lot of the things that the military teaches men are things that men just don't know. Dude, my own father didn't learn how to drive until he joined the military. You know what I mean? So I think the military has a lot of utility. So the fact that you were in the military, and I'll say one more thing before we go to Allie, is Knight Commander, you don't decide what your value is. The market does, right? So while we can say that all of these ladies are attractive, these women can't they can't say, well, I'm a 10 or I'm an 8 or I'm a 9. No, that's the market. The market decides what you are. So listen, shout out to you. You're you may or may not be a high value man, but you leave that for the market to decide. So Allie, what do you think of this guy? He's a military guy. He's a veteran. He's good on money. What are you feeling? Or what do you think?
So I'm prior service. My man is in the military. My ex is in the military. I've been around the military. I think that some of these men, they get a little bit complacent, because going to the military, I don't know if you guys know this, but all you have to do to get in is not go to jail, right? So it's not like you're not that special. You're just willing to do the hard work for financial security in your early 20s. And I do see men, they get complacent when they retire because they got that monthly check. That monthly check is great, but what else could you be doing to build your value? Because like Donovan was saying, like, women don't get to determine a man's value. Like in the marketplace, sure, there is something to be said about a woman being like, yes, I will sleep with you. That means something, but your worth is going to be determined by by society. Society determines your value as a man. So just don't get complacent off of that monthly check. That's amazing. But how else can you impact the world? What profession can you get into? What community service can you get into? How can you invest some of that check and make that supplemental income that you don't even really look at or touch, right? That should just be a nice nest egg, because if you build your status enough, you don't got to worry about women, because we will find you. We will find you. Certified badge bunny right here. We will find you.
And it's funny because there are women who will camp outside of a military base, and a lot of women are predatory in that regard. They want to have a baby with a military man, or they want to get up with a military man because their life is just taken care of. Okay. Listen, fantastic show today. Ladies, let's go around the panel. Tell the people where they can find you, your links, your Instagram, your YouTube. Allie, lead us off.
My Instagram is going to be @RealFemmeSapien. My YouTube is also @RealFemmeSapien. That's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle. Feel free to give me a look-see if you need any insights on female nature. I am happy to give it to you, but make sure that you want what you're asking for, okay?
Yeah, Allie's going to give it to you. Pearl.
So you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Just Pearly Things. The only difference is on Instagram, it's just and then .pearly things. Someone took my username. I was kind of salty, but whatever.
Okay, good stuff. Follow all of Pearly Things links. Tallulah.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is The Feminine Truth. It's new, so please go and subscribe. And the Instagram is The Feminine Truth. And the Twitter is Feminine Truths. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Tallulah's a great follow. You guys should definitely follow her. Janelle, you have plenty of links. List them all. Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. Oops, wait, you have to unmute yourself. Sorry about that.
I just was like worried about my son.
No,
so TikTok, y'all, I'm almost to 100,000 followers. So yeah, Janelle Gordon O Factors. I'm dropping a lot of feminine, really amazing stuff about serving the masculine. So you'll love that. Janelle Gordon O Factors. And then my Instagram is I am Janelle Gordon, simply because that's Instagram number 3. And YouTube is Janelle Gordon. Super simple. I'll be posting videos, 7-minute videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just hitting you with some tantric feminine, really more, not feminine, moving into being more feminine truths. And then lastly, if you want to work with me or attend my retreats, the ofactors.com, you'll find a link to the retreat, which is Intimacy Mastery Retreats. And this is a great V-Day gift. And thanks so much for having me on. Donovan and Devin, y'all are amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Devin, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
You can't.
You
you can find me right here next to Donovan. If you want to support, go to sharpstream.com, join. That's my pet project. I love It's my baby. So
what was your Instagram handle again?
Not found 404.
God.
We can because we care. It's funny. It's so funny. There's no way Devin has got, listen, if Devin has social media, I don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if Devin wants a side nigga, she's going to have to earn it. And if she can get real talk, listen, if she's got a side nigga and she can get away with it, hey, I mean, as long as I don't know about it, I'm good to go. I mean, how would you know?
Just from what you've told me. You're saying it would be really hard if she wanted to cheat. You're always saying that.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be. I know. It's not worth that much effort.
What was your TikTok again?
404.
There it is. 404 not found. Night Commander with another €10 super chat says 20 years, 8 in the Marines, the rest in the Army. 500 of the funds go to children's homes. And I'm very old school. No quit, lead by example. Love y'all. Thank you for the opinions and thoughts. Love it. Appreciate that very, very much. That is going to do it for this edition of Not All Women. Like I said, next week at 5:00 Eastern will be the very first episode of season 6 of The Six. It will be myself, Coach Everett Overton, Hotep Jesus Minister Jack Kevin Sabo, and of course the great Rollo Tomasi, aka the Godfather of the Manosphere. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you all so much.